Hey everybody, welcome. This isn't the original one that was notifying you on the main screen, so sorry about that. I couldn't get it to work for some reason, and as you see, I'm going solo tonight. Jake couldn't make it, not sure why. Antonius, well, he had a really long day. Um, he gets up basically in the middle of the night when he goes to work. He didn't even get back to his place of employment till like 5, and he was super wore out from the week. And I understand, I empathize, and I told him it's all good, man. If you're too tired, I'll just get on, and probably won't be a very long podcast tonight, but that's okay. We might do a call in with him anyway. But welcome everybody. It is Friday, September 23rd. Whoever's watching, glad you make it. Like I said, it's not the first original notification. I had to make a new one real quick, so I'm sure you guys will figure it out if you just refresh it. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and say hi to everybody. I had a pretty good week. It wasn't too bad except for one day, but that's okay. Today was interesting. I like today because in the 3 o'clock hour, my boss came into my office and was like, "Hey, we can leave at 4 today, but if we do, I want you guys to go by Mahmoud's house." And Mahmoud is our janitor where I work, and he's one of the guys from Afghanistan and some of the families that's come. And my boss, he created the MART, which is the Manhattan Afghan Refugee Team, I believe is the saying for the acronym. And he's done a really awesome job in combining all these resources and being able to have some type of an actual program. So when these people came, they had somewhere to go where they could be housed, which he linked up with K-State. And, they lived there for so much time, and while that's happening, they're working on getting them into housing, whether it's Section 8 or public housing, whatever they have to do. And so he just came up with a really good model. And I believe the Department of HUD and all these other people that are trying to do like Afghan refugee stuff in their state have seen what Aaron has done and are impressed, and they should be, because it's really awesome that he's done that and been able to help so many people. But so Mahmoud is our janitor, and he's been working there, and they got to get into this house, and like Habitat for Humanity helped with like fixing it up a little bit, and they had to do some cleaning and put some new carpet in and got it ready for his family, his wife, and he has quite a few children. He has like 9 children, but that's common, with that culture. And so it was really cool. So there were several other Afghan families there as well, and they made all this food. And so I got to go, and you take off your shoes when you first go in. And then the way they do it is they have like all the women sit in one room and all the men sit in another room. So I go into the room where the men are, and you sit down on the floor, and they have like this big rug on the floor. It looks really, it's really beautiful, and you can tell. I'm guessing maybe it's from Afghanistan or made over there. I could be wrong. Maybe they got it here, but it looked really neat. And then kind of on top of that is like a vinyl type mat, and that's to kind of like catch the food and stuff. And they had like it was some type of rice. It was like a long grained rice, very soft, kind of mushy. They had something that looked to me like maybe spinach or like greens. It was something like that. I ate it, whatever it was good. Then they had some meat that they had made. I don't know if it was like beef tips, and it was on bone. It was good. It was made with some different type of seasoning and sauce. What else did they have? And then they kind of like make their own flatbread. And that was really good. And then this bowl I had to the side, it kind of reminds you of like a summer salad. but with like out the lettuce. So it was like tomatoes and onions and cucumbers and stuff like that. And that was good. And then there was a sauce, like a whitish, greenish sauce that you could pour on the rice. And for their culture, when they eat, they don't use utensils. They eat with their hands, their fingers. So even though they did give me a spoon, and I know they gave Aaron a spoon as well, I didn't use it except if I was like maybe putting something like on a piece of my flatbread to eat. But I wanted to eat like them because I wanted to be respectful. But anyway, it was a great experience, and we got to conversate with them. Went around the circle, and each of them told they're all soldiers. They were all soldiers in Afghanistan. And so they each kind of told what they did. One was a driver. One did more like accounting and administrative work. Others were like the 2 guys, I guess, were like special op. And it's for OGA, which I guess means other government agency. So it's not really for like the CIA or the FBI or anybody like that. It's an OGA. And that was interesting. I might have to do some separate research on that. But it was a cool experience. The food was good. It was just a really good cultural experience. And that's the first time I've ever like sat down and, I've been to an Indian restaurant before, but I never got to like sit down with the people in their home and eat. And it was just, it was really cool, man. And if you ever get the chance to experience it, you should try it. It means a lot to them. And they're very good hosts because they're happy about it that you're there and eating with them. And so they're good hosts, and they make your plate for you. And really cool, really cool. The other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is like, have you ever ran into somebody that you didn't want to? And I don't mean just like somebody like, oh, I don't feel like talking to that person, like somebody that maybe you used to hang out with in your past at a certain stage in your life, but you've grown and you've moved on, and like you can't hang out with that person anymore. You've grown enough, like in your life that happens. We mature and we outgrow people. And this is what happened with this certain individual. It's a person I went to high school with, and it was weird. The whole story is kind of weird, but like, I'll give you a small background, but like, I went to high school with him, but like, I never had been to his house, never spent the night at his house. He never came to my house. We didn't hang out with the same group of people. Like, I knew the people he hung out with, and they knew who I was, but it wasn't like we were like super close like that. He was like an athlete and stuff, and hung out with what we would have called back in the day the West Side kids, right? So the more well-off to do kids, right? That's what we called them back in the day. But we were cool. Like, we knew each other in high school, and we knew each other and it was all good. We didn't really like hang out that much. And then later in life, like 10 years ago, he like randomly hits me up because he was like moving back here because he had, like, after college, went out to Vegas and like worked and had his own VIP business. And it went well for a while. But the thing is, like, that life got a hold of him. That nightlife, that whole scene. And yes, did he meet like celebrities and, people, athletes? He did meet all these people, and he did network with a bunch of people, and it went good for a while. But like I said, that life got a hold of him, and it caught up with him, and then things went wrong. And like, I don't really know the whole story, but like, he didn't have that business anymore, and came back here, I guess. And there was supposedly a business that he had like a percentage in that was starting, and now today is a big hat brand. I'm not going to say it again because I'm trying to keep some anonymous little bit to this story, but like, if you know, you know, and some people figure it out. But like, And there's like, then he went down to Texas and tried to do like a clothing store that he was supposedly in business with someone. And that ended up not working out. And he would come back. And there's a lot of reasons to why things didn't work out. And a lot was because of his like choices that he made and recreational activities that he chose to be involved in. And he, like on social media, when you look at it or go through pics, you think, oh, this guy must be living pretty good. He must make pretty decent money. And it's all this. It's all a fabrication, man. And I think most people are hip to the game now. But like, he doesn't live like that. He doesn't have it like that. No matter how hard he tries to portray it, it ain't like that, man. And it's sad, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like still trying to like live up to this person that he was like when he was in Vegas, when he was in his young 20s, straight out of college. Like it's not those days anymore. It hasn't been those days. That was something that was good for an amount of time, but it all came crumbling down. And I think he tries to keep like, oh, I'm still successful like I was then. No, yeah, you're not successful. You haven't been successful. And then he went to Miami then after that, and supposedly knew these people and went into business with these people for some club that he was working on. And of course, that didn't work out either. And there was always an excuse. It was never his fault, of course. It was always something else, or somebody tried to screw him over. And, you know, I never heard him say, you know, man, I messed up. You know what I'm saying? It was never that. It was always somebody else. And, yeah, so then he came back again. And then here's the weird part. So when he comes back, he like hits me up on social media and was like, oh, hey man, I'm moving back to town and thought we could like catch up. And I was like, what? And let me go back a little bit. This is kind of before I knew all those stories. So I some of this I didn't know. So my assumption, I didn't know all that was the detail and the failed business plans and all that stuff. So I didn't know that yet at this point when he calls me. This is just what I've learned over all these years that I was sharing. And I was like, catch up. Like, bro, we never hung out like that. What are you talking about? And he was asking about like when me and Antonio used to do music and all that. And, you know, he's like, oh, I know these guys in studios here and there. And I was just kind of like, whatever. But, you know, I never did music because I wanted to become rich and famous. I did it because I enjoyed it and we had a lot of fun and it was a good experience. And one of the main reasons I did it is it was good therapy for me. Because after my daughter died, instead of going to a psychiatrist and laying on a couch and paying $150 an hour, I just decided to go to the studio and make songs and write and do my therapy that way. And it was good because I made a couple awesome projects and a mixtape and features and was on like a big mixtape in the United States that went out that had things on it. And I've opened up for people like Twista and our group SAMG opened up for like Twister and 3-6 Mafia and Too Short, and it was fun, man, and met a lot of cool people and, you know, made great songs and music with people, and it was just a good time. But I never did it. That wasn't my goal. I wasn't like, I'm doing this because I want to be rich and famous. You know, that wasn't my plan. If it happened, it happened, but that wasn't really my goal. And I don't do it anymore. That's behind me. Don't regret it or anything like that. But anyway, so back to the story. And he was like trying to like, you know, bring that up. And it was just, and I was like, sure, man, you know, come over. I'll say hi. I was being nice. And like I said, I didn't know all this back information that I told y'all. So it's like, so we're hanging out and just from the beginning, and we didn't hang out all the time, but like he was just a mess, man. Like, everything, like the way he lived, like fuck, like, I don't know, man. Like, he was just a mess, man. And the thing is, like, I just couldn't figure it out. And it was just a few years, and like I tried to, guide him, but man, he's just all over the place. And he moved away, and I think his mom became sick, and I really don't know what happened with that, but he moved with his family, they own a business and lived out in this town. And I don't know, he moved away. I moved, changed my number, not friends on social media anymore, like all that. And it was just a good thing. And I thought, okay, great. Like, he's gone. I don't have to worry about him. Because eventually it was coming to that point. I was like, you're going to be like, look, man, like, we can't hang out, man. Like, I just can't. Like, you're not responsible. You make me nervous. You make bad decisions. I just can't. I don't hang out with people like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about, maturing and outgrowing people. It just happens in life, man. You can't take everybody with you, It's just the way it is. And it's okay. It's okay to outgrow people, It's okay to let people go. Totally is. And he's not the only person I've done it to in the last few years. And I'm not saying it because I'm mean and being a dick, but like, there's other people that another person. And yeah, we used to hang out like in high school, and that even didn't go well. And we stopped talking like towards my senior year. And he reached out like once to me in like 20 some years to like try to say hi. And I wasn't interested, man. Like, we're just not the same people anymore. I wasn't the same person that you're thinking we used to be in high school. None of us are. So sorry if I'm shaking the camera too much. It's just, we're just not. And I had to finally, like, this person, not the current person I'm talking about, but the other one, the example I was telling, I'm not the only person I've done this to. Like, he even started like calling my work and was really trying to get a hold of me, So I had to download one of them apps that where you can text somebody, but it's like a fake number, so they can't text back or anything. And I had to be like, hey man, I know you've been trying to call my work and you're trying to get a hold of me and blowing up my phone. I said, but look, man, like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but like, I'm not interested in hanging out with you. I'm just not. I'm sorry. And if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. But like, I'm just not, man. Like, I'm doing different things now. I just can't. And I feel like slightly guilty about saying, well, yeah, a little bit, but it's kind of like one of those sorry, not sorry things. So, and he texted back something like, oh, if you think I'm doing drugs and this, man, I'm not. And he was like, I don't do that anymore, which is hard for me to believe. And he was like, it's fine, man. I'll never bother you again. I just thought of everybody. You wouldn't be like that. And it's just like, I didn't respond to it, obviously, and deleted that app and his number. And yeah, that was it. But like I said, man, you just outgrow people, man. And you can't have certain people in your life because they're bad energy and they will bring you down, like either directly or indirectly, but the thing is, it's okay. And it sounds mean, but it's completely okay, man. To let people go and to outgrow people. And that's just kind of like just a story. And I could really get into it in more detail, but the thing is, when I started this story and I said, have you ever ran into somebody you didn't want to run into? Well, that's what happened during this week is going into the shaman, and I was like, dun, 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 dun. It was in the evening, and I had a smile on my face, and I see the person that's working there, and looked like it was only going to be me in the store. So, oh, this will be fast. And I walk in, and to my left, there was this person standing. And I mean, my face went from like, hey, to seriously. I mean, and he was all like, oh, look at this guy, and had his hand down and was like, going to give me the handshake. And I was just like, hey, man. And he's like, bring it in, man. We're boys. And he like gives me this hug, and I'm just like, okay. And he like gets done hugging me, and I'm like, yeah, can I see the bag of Delta 9 indica gummies? Thanks. And let me see that one. And he was like, well, what's up, man? You just can't get your bag and leave. And I was looked at him, and I was like, watch me, you know? And so he's just trying, and he's skinny, and he doesn't look good, and you can tell he's on it. You can just tell, you know what I'm saying? Oh, hold on, I got a message here. Let me check. No, okay. And he was talking a mile a minute, and I could just tell. I was just like, Jesus, man. Because it's been years since we've, like, 7+ years. So, I mean, I thought this person was long gone. Like, it's the last person I wanted to see. And I was just not excited, man, because I'm not interested. Like, I got, some things, big things I'm working on, and it's exciting. And, like, I can't, man. I just can't. Like, you can't take everybody with you. And he was like, what's up, man? You want to, like, hang out? And I was like, no, I can't. And he was like, well, what's up, man? You seem kind of weird. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm just trying to, get what I'm getting and go on my way. And so I get it and maybe my stuff. And then so I'm leaving, and he was like, and then he follows me out the door. And I'm like, oh. And I thought, well, maybe he's just going to walk to his car too. No, he follows me to my car, and he's like, well, what's up, man? Like, you going to take my number or anything? And I was like, sure, man. And I get my phone. I'm like, go to it so he can see. And I'm like, well, what's your number? And I put it in, and I said, cool, man, I got it. And in the store too, I was like, yeah, me and Tam the other day brought you up, and we were like, wonder what happened to that guy. And he was like, yeah, man. And he starts going, man, I was in jail for like 18 months. And I'm looking at him like, oh, Lord. And he was like, talking about all this trouble he got into, like it's cool. And I'm just like, bro. In my head, I'm thinking, bro, we're in our mid 40s, man. Like, you're an idiot, And anyway, so we're outside. I take his number down, and then he got real offended because, like, I didn't give him my number. And he's like, what's up, man? You're acting like there's a problem. And I said, no, there ain't no problem, man. I just need to get what I need to get and get dinner and go back home, man. So there ain't no problem. And he's like, and he starts walking off, and you can tell he's really offended and put out by the way I was being. And he was like, well, call me when you're fun. He was like, you got my number, so it's all on you. And I was just like, all right, man, thanks. See you later. And got in the car and got out of there and deleted his number because that's not happening. He hasn't changed, man. Like, you're on a different timeline than I am, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. So anyway, that's my spiel and rant. Sorry, everyone, about maturing and growing up and outgrowing people, and that it's okay to let people go. It really is, because if they're not a positive light in your life, man, you don't need it. You don't need it. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. Before we call Antonius real quick, I want to share with you guys, since it's just me, we'll do things a little different. Okay. I want to share with you 2 quotes from this week that I downloaded to my phone because I thought they were really great. Someone had shared them on social media, but it was awesome. And this first one is called, hold on. This first one is called Finding Yourself. And it said quotation marks. So it says, finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions that you drew as a kid that became your beliefs about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself. An unlearning, an excavation, a remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. That's deep. That's real deep. So if you need to hear that again, you have to go back and watch the video and find it and find that spot and listen to it because it's good. And you should listen to it a couple times. All quotes, you should read them a few times to really get it, sometimes because they're deep and they're layered. Here's the next one. When it's time to make a change, the universe will make it so uncomfortable for you that you will have no choice but to leave. When you are not happy in a situation, don't stay in denial and try to make it work. The world has better plans for you. Trust in the process and do your part by aligning yourself with the things you want. The rest will be history. So those are two good ones. We'll call Antonius now and see what he's doing. We'll bother him. And I'll put it on speakerphone here, so the mic should be able to pick it up. Here we go. We'll see if he answers. Might be a dud, man. I might not get nobody.
Please leave your message.
Nothing. Here, let's try to call Ray just for fun. And I'm probably going to end this soon anyway. Because I told you guys it was going to be a short one since it's just me on here. So we're just having fun, okay? I don't know if he might be at work, so he might not answer. I don't know if he's closing tonight or not. It's someone. So you're on the podcast. I'm doing it by myself. So
where's Antonius?
Man, he had he gets up like in the middle of the night, to go to work, basically 2, 3 in the morning. And then he didn't get back to his place of employment till like 5 o'clock. And he was super tired and he was like playing GTA just to try to stay awake. And I said, bro, it's okay, man. Like, if you're too tired, it's fine. And of course, Jake didn't make it. So I just told Antonius so I had made the one that I schedule like I do every week, But so when I got everything set up, I went to it and it wasn't I don't know, man. I couldn't figure it out. So I had to go back and do a new one real quick and put the title in and everything. And that worked just fine. That's what I'm on now. But I noticed there's nobody's been watching. So I don't know if it's because that first one that I had up, it wasn't live. So maybe they don't think I'm on or something. But you think if you would have refreshed, it would have saw it though. You know what I mean?
If you would have refreshed, you would have. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I'm calling you just for fun. I went on a rant and I told a story about how I ate with the Afghanistans today. Me and my boss did, and I talked about that a little bit and how that was like. And then
was it awkward?
No, it was interesting, man. It was pretty cool. And then the person that I ran into the other day, I didn't bring his name up. I didn't put him on blast like that, but I did talk about him. I ain't gonna lie. And but my whole premises was talking about maturing and outgrowing people, right? And that sometimes in your life, you gotta let people go. You can't hang out with the same cats that maybe you used to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still making like dumbass choices, and like, you know, I'm not on that road. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm on some different shit right now, and I can't be around negativity like that, man. You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about. That was like my whole main point, basically. But it took up quite a bit of time when I was talking about that. And now I'm probably going to end the podcast soon. But I was like, well, I tried to call Antonius. He didn't pick up because he's probably passed out. And I was like, let's call Ray. I was like, I don't know if he's working or not, but let's see if he answers.
No, I opened and then got home. We got some food. I watched the first episode of Dahmer. So
is that on Netflix?
That's on Netflix. It's about Jeffrey Dahmer, Evan Peters.
Mm-hmm.
If you've watched American Horror Story,
yes,
the guy phenomenal actor, he plays Dahmer.
Oh,
so
we might have to turn that on when I get off of here.
Yeah, like it starts off a little slow. You know what I mean? Like the first episode, you're like,
huh?
And then it's just like, bam, straight into it. You're like, okay, all right.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm just kicking back. I was watching some Aqua Teen, ran some PUBG.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yup.
Man.
And get ready for work tomorrow. But, you know, just the same old shit.
Do we play each other in fantasy this week?
I think we played last week. I think you won.
Was it? Yeah, I won, but
it is what it is.
It is. Like, I'm in 2 Yahoo leagues. The other one's through my other supervisor at work. It's like
this league doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, you have to have your favorite teams, players on it, but you have to start them every week. So what's the point of even having, you know?
Yeah, I'm surprised everybody's still kind of, because, you know, like Bellinger, like, wasn't even like playing at the first game of the season. So like I had to put in a different tight end, you know? And I didn't go get I didn't get the other Giants tight end. I just put in a different tight end. I was like, fuck it. But yeah, it's different. That's why it's experimental, you know? I mean, if we don't like it, we won't do it again.
Yep. So are we still good for 4:00 on Sunday at your place?
Yeah, it's on my computer at work because it's their big files, you know. So we can go there. It's not a problem. Okay. Nobody will be there.
All right. Yeah, because we need to do all that other stuff too.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get it all done on Sunday. I doubt we will because that's a lot. But we can at least get a good start, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can start.
I might need. Well, actually, we can't really talk about this on the podcast. Yeah. So I almost messed up right there.
Shit.
I almost spilled the beans, man.
The beans in the pot.
That's right. Speaking of beans, I'm gonna have to make some chili soon with this cooler weather.
Man, so I saw this recipe the other day. It's for a dip.
Ooh.
So you get a block of cream cheese.
Okay.
Throw it in a glass like thing that's like you can put in the oven or put in microwave, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you can either get canned chili or your own chili. See, I like chili without beans. You know what I mean? I think the beans ruin it, but
what?
People like it. Whatever. It's their thing.
Haven't you had my chili before?
And then you like put that on that, and then you put a bunch of cheese like Colby, pepper jack, whatever, on top of that, and then you heat it up, and then it's a dip.
Then it's a dip, son.
It's like chili, cream cheese, and just fucking heart attack.
Okay, that sounds delicious, man.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I love dips, man.
Goddamn dips.
I like them dips.
I like them
dipses.
Shit.
I know that.
Man.
So how was your week, man?
This week's been it's slower. Students are they're still here and everything, but there's no home football game this weekend, yep. So we're not getting the level of intensity of the influx of customers because we're away.
Right.
After the loss last week to Tulane, we were still busy, but we weren't as busy as if we would have won. it's all predicated, like, the shopping experience there is, a lot of it is central. It's centralized around holidays and events. You got your 4th of July, you got your football games, you got your Thanksgivings, Christmas, and New Year's, and fake patties, and a big one that people always overlook is Valentine's Day with wine. So it's not like, hey, we're not busy all the time. Sure, we're busy. I mean, the doors stay open, but it's at those points when you really see the influx of customers, especially with the weather that we've been having. Besides the last day and a half,
right?
The game days. Well, last game day sucked, but it is what it is, but if it's nice on the weekends, then you're golden, And, well, so it was an all right week. The week before that was all right.
That's good, man.
What it is.
Yeah.
Just you go to work.
Yep. Well, showing my coworkers your bearded beer review today. Because on Fridays you have like vacancy meeting and stuff, and it kind of takes up some of the morning. But after the meeting, I was like, showed it to like Ernie and this other lady named Karen, and because they're both
Ernie from high school.
Ernie Will Hoyt,
yeah,
man. He's like he's not the maintenance supervisor, but he's like the next step down,
Yeah. He was in the store. Shit, Ernie was in the store like.
Ernie's cool, man.
Yeah, he was in there about a year ago. That dude's got like 10 kids and shit.
No, I don't have 10. He has like 3.
You gotta have 4. Or he's like, I'm having all the kids.
All the kids.
I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, it's growing organically. We're not paying for plugs or anything like that. But we've got videos coming out every week.
Well, I made a playlist on the Red Eye Hour, so it's called the Bearded Beer Review. So I just put all your ones in there too. So.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and then I share them, of course. So.
I just put them on Facebook. I should put them on like YouTube or Instagram. But, I should probably do that tonight, actually. Like, hey, check me out. This is...
Well, cool, man. I was just going to call and say hey, and I was going to wrap up our podcast for tonight.
Right on.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for picking up the call. Well, I did a call out instead of call in. So, yeah. All right, man. Well, have a good night, man. And tell your wife I said hi.
Will do.
All right. Late. All right, everybody. And on that note, thanks for tuning in. I know I don't have a lot of people tuning in tonight. It's okay. Most of y'all watch it not live anyway. So appreciate you checking it out. Thanks for all the support over the last year. We do appreciate it. Hoodie season's coming. If you know anybody out there that if I start getting hoodie orders, I can go through to make hoodies for me, let me know. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Thanks for tuning in and listening to my stories. I was just solo dolo tonight. So thanks for checking. And this is J.Meeks, and you've been listening to the Red Eye Hour. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.